Welcome to the Life with Joey Calvo podcast. I am Joey Calvo. First of all, our podcast is part of the World Podcast Network, now with over 1,100 podcasts. Visit the World Podcast Network at https://worldpodcast.network to listen to podcasts in over 12 genres. Come vote our podcast episodes up and help us rise on the leaderboard. If you have a podcast of your own, please, you can join for free. So today, I decided to do another impromptu podcast because the psychiatrist I had actually told me it was therapy, and maybe I need some therapy right now. And it all started over the past couple days with someone who has been my rock and got me out of wanting to be in inclusion. And this person, who will remain anonymous, kept things that shouldn't be hidden, or would backtrack. And because of that, I got uncomfortable. I got hurt. I felt hurt. And I decided to start to pull the plug on the Superheroine Chat with Joey C podcast. Does it hurt me that I started doing it? Yes. I mean, I was looking forward to it, and Anonymous was a big part of it. And now to the point where that person is stopping everything because of what I'm saying. And it's not right. I mean, people have to stop hiding their feelings. People literally have to stop hiding their feelings. If you really have feelings for someone, okay, tell them. Be honest with them. I mean, I have a lot of feelings for a lot of people. And I don't go, I mean, I can go around, I can get around other things, of what people think of me. But when it comes to feelings for people, I don't skirt that. I really don't. And yeah, I'm going through a divorce. Okay. I have a happiness, but it's a complicated happiness. But when I met when I got to know the Anonymous, that person became interested in me. But that person's going to skirt the facts about it to protect themselves. there's theories that this person will say. I'm not saying I don't believe it, but I don't see it. I mean, yeah, I'm a Wonder Woman fan. And in the series how Diana Prince was always concerned about Steve Trevor and always saving him. This is what I'm seeing now. Okay? But it's not a physical save, it's an emotional save. And you shouldn't hide what you really feel about someone. You shouldn't. I mean, if you really feel, I'm sorry, I'm picking something up off the floor. But if you really feel for someone, tell them. Yeah, I became interested in Anonymous for who they are. Okay? This person helps law enforcement at night. It's intriguing, I mean, and when you're sharing your feelings with them, and you start to get deep, and you're getting to know the person, all of a sudden they feel that your expectations are too high. Well, how do you know my expectations are too high unless you explore them? There's always the thing about assumption that when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Okay? Don't assume. Because if you assume, you're not going to know if the person's really interested in you. Or if those feelings that person's been telling you are real or not. Okay? I mean, does it hurt me right now? Yes. Because right now it feels like what I've been doing with some people. But I've been making far more attempts to stop hiding behind things. If I feel for someone, I want them to know I feel for someone. I want to explore things with that person. I just did a podcast of 3 or 4 podcasts ago, or not even 3. Yeah, about 3, of what I wanted. Being now I'm divorced. But you at the same time, I want to be able to share things with people that I'm with. I want to be able to explore new adventures. I mean, walking on a beach holding hands is one thing. But sitting down and watching porn at night, that would be interesting. Because if it goes off of that, let it go off of that. I mean, do I want to try it? Yeah. I'd like to cuddle up with somebody and watch porn with them for a night. Because it may turn out to be a worthwhile night. But the best feeling is it's with the person that cares about you and enjoys you for who you are, not for who you're not. And with anonymous, that person, like I said, goes out at night and assists law enforcement. Do I worry about it? Yeah. I mean, you're hearing about officers being shot, especially Philadelphia and New York and anywhere, you know? Yeah, they have a high risk job at night, but it doesn't mean you can't be there and be their rock when they really need that support. And you have that support, and all of a sudden you're thinking it's too high of an expectation that there's more to it. And yes, there is. If someone cares about you for who you are and is interested in who you are and what you do and wants to be that support and wants to build a relationship with that person, explore it. Because if it doesn't work out, at least you can turn it around and tell the person, okay, maybe this isn't working out the way it should be. Okay. But you made an attempt of it. And that's why I'm afraid of a relationship right now because of something that's over my head. Not physically, but mentally. But it depends on the person themselves in reference to that. And with Anonymous, that person there was so much to know that I got to know about that person. But I became interested in that person for who they are. And wanted I want to do things. I want to do things with that person because of what they do and the time they have, in between. You should never hide your feelings. You should never hide your feelings. Because if you do, like I said, you're not going to know what's out there. Now, the end of last month, I wanted, I had a feeling that I wasn't. I'm not saying I'm not loved. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm not loved. But I didn't see myself in another true relationship. Okay. And only because of something mentally in my head. And it has been explained to some people. And with some people, they still wanted to be by my side. And at the end of last month, I literally wanted to be on the outside looking in because I didn't see many things happening for me. Well, the only reason why I didn't see many happy things coming to me is because my health's going the other direction. But I'm starting to look at my health now. Or I've been looking at my health. I just took a break from it until now. But my feelings for people are still there. I still, want to do things. And Anonymous was a big support of that. And now all of a sudden it fell apart because something happened. Did I take responsibility for, even though I physically didn't cause it to happen? Yes. Because it was something I kept within my heart about, And sometimes you have to really show that person how you feel. And just saying thank you these days sometimes isn't enough. As much as right now I could just say thank you, that's all I need. No. There's more to it. There's more to it. A relationship is more than just wanting sex. Okay? Yeah, I'll admit I haven't had it in a couple of years. Okay. But there's more to that. Like I said earlier, sitting down and doing things. And yeah, it could lead to sex, but just doing it is good enough. And really knowing the person you're with, if the person really has the feelings for you and is interested in wanting to do the things you do or want to do, go for it. The worst that could happen is the person could be a bad one night stand. Okay? And, most people say, oh, I'm not into one night stands. Well, guess what? If you really think about life is really a one night stand. Okay? Life is really a one night stand. Make good use of it. Explore everything you can. Okay? Right now, yeah, I wish I could have sex left and right, up and down, everywhere. You know what I mean. But I'm also happy just wanting to spend time with someone that I really care, admire, trust, believe in. And want to do things with. I really, really do. I mean, there's more. See, when people look at relationships, they think it's just sex. It's not. But at the same time, you got to stop hiding feelings because you think you're giving people false expectations, but you're really not. If you really are interested in how this person feels about you and really wants to know you, don't hide it. Yeah, they could have a difference of opinion on some things, but it doesn't stop that they're interested in you. I mean, yeah, I'm into Wonder Woman. I listen to smooth jazz in 70s and 80s and some classic rock. And I love going to the casinos. All right, so there's a downfall right there. I go to the casinos. But usually when I go to the casinos, okay, I usually earn free rooms. Okay. You've seen podcasts where I've done podcasts from the Tropicana and Harris. Okay. And I like doing them. I love doing them from a hotel room in Atlantic City. Okay. Because it's a change. And like I had said, what the psychiatrist said before taking me off of them was podcasts are my theory or my therapy. And I will say, as I got to know Anonymous and learned about their life, I was interested. And now when you start throwing things and try to put up roadblocks, it's kind of late. Because you convince the person to be interested in you for who you are, and then you're going to backtrack and throw a theory out that's going to throw a roadblock thinking it's going to stop when you really deep down don't want to stop and you want to explore it more. It doesn't hurt to try. The only way it would hurt, okay, is you did it, you let it continue, and then you realize it was wrong sometime later. Or you turn around, you let the relationship go on, and that the person that was interested in you turned around and cheated on you. And I'll tell you, most of my relationships, even my ex-wife, cheated on me. And now these days, when you post things on social media and people are they like you and they start chatting with you, they turn around, they're interested in meeting you, but before they're interested in meeting you, they want you to send them $30. Okay? So they can get food. You haven't even been in the relationship with the person. You're just getting to know them. And they're asking you for money right off the bat. I mean, if I wanted to spend money, I'd go get a hooker. And that's what this society is coming to on these things. People are out to scam you for money to get to know you. They don't, and they wind up not caring about who you are. They care about your wallet. All they care about is that wallet. They don't care about you. They don't care if you have an associate's degree in business management. They don't care if you're into Wonder Woman. They don't care if you like smooth jazz. All they care about is the 20s in your pocket. That's it. And then once you become gullible enough, and I used to be gullible. I'll admit it. I still am sometimes. And I may turn around. If I turned around and gave somebody a 20, you know what? They would stop speaking to me. They're like, bye, sucker. Not Anonymous. Anonymous wasn't like that. I mean, that person really cared. Literally cared. I mean, when I did the podcast with Elise Alexander, Elise is another rock. Yes, she told me she's in a relationship. Yes, I accepted it. But with Elise, even though she allowed me to literally like flirt during the podcast in a way, but I was opening up. You know? I was showing feeling. And you, like I said, you really shouldn't hide your feelings. If there was someone that was really interested in me right now, I'd want to hear it. I do. Okay? I really do. Because at least I would know, hey, this person's interested in me, wants to get to know who I am for who I am and not for my wallet. Then when things build up, then I can go into the wallet and support if it got stronger. If it wasn't worth it, then okay, I saved my wallet. But the heart gets hurt for it. And that's one thing that I wouldn't do. You gotta, people have got to stop hiding behind things that they feel are making them safe, because sometimes they're not. And one thing I will say, Elise told me, okay, was that I was kind of BSing people. And that was one reason why I wanted to be in inclusion. Because hearing that just made me want to just leave everybody alone. But at the same time, Elise was telling me that I can get around that. I could be better than that. And all of a sudden, I mean, my world turned. And yes, Anonymous was part of that. It just hurts me that people go back to other things that they really don't want to do because they're afraid. And you got to stop being afraid. I'm not. Okay? I'm not anymore. And like I said, it hurts me because now I'm blaming myself for this person walking away. Even though I was the one that started to want to walk away because of something else. And it hurts me because I really wanted to do stuff with this person because they made me comfortable. And that's the major word. That's the word of the day, folks. Boys and girls, the word is comfortable. Use it. If you're comfortable with the person you're with, then continue on what you're doing. If you're not comfortable with the person and you continue the way you are, you're never going to be happy. What do you want me to do? When I did a pilot episode for Superheroine Chat with Joey C the other day, just for the hell of it, I did it because I was trying to set it up for May. Well, YouTube doesn't have the video of it, and someone commented, literally commented, because I said I was going to talk about porn, superheroine porn. They're like, go get a girlfriend. Okay, so I'm a nerd. Okay. And this person literally was like, go get a girlfriend. Well, either one or two things. Either this guy couldn't get one themselves and wanted to put somebody down, or it was like, like I had said about how people on Facebook were telling me what to do with my life. And I'll tell you, I showed that to Anonymous, and that person was like, this is what bullying is like. Yeah. I grew up on that stuff. I was put down when I was little. Okay? I was literally put down to the point where I have no self-confidence. I really am my own worst enemy. If I told you right now how I felt about me, I would probably tell you I hate myself. Still. But over the past couple weeks, I haven't been, I don't really hate myself like I used to. But that's also because what I've started doing is actually more interesting. I mean, the podcast is on the World Podcast Network, and it's got rave reviews, and it's building something. And one thing that Elise told me is what I wanted to do originally was start a casino bus service, and she told me that may not be the thing I wanted to do. So, I started to realize that. And then, like I said earlier about what the psychiatrist said, I was like, you know what? They're right. Even though I still want to start the casino bus service. Because that's something I like to do. I like to go to the casinos. And yes, I do like to gamble once a month, at least once a month. And then when I do go down to Atlantic City and I spend the night, I try to make it interesting if I was with someone, you know, and get a an ocean view room. So that way, you know, if they're standing by the window, I can go up to them and say, listen, you know, as you're looking at that, look how special you are, you know? And yeah, you try to make it as romantic as possible. But at the same time, you're lifting their spirits up. You're putting them on a pedestal. So that's kind of what I was doing with Anonymous. I was putting them on a pedestal. And they got scared of being on the pedestal. And they shouldn't have been. They really shouldn't be. Because, you know, when someone lifts you up high, you know, they want you to know that they're there for you and that they care about you and they want to do things with you and enjoy you for who you are. If a woman came up to me and if someone I knew turned around and said, you know what, all these years I had a crush on you, but I was afraid to tell you because you would think, well, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known. And maybe I probably would have given you the opportunity. Now, if this person turned around and said, now, you know what? I'd like to have an opportunity with you. I'd be like, let's go. Let's try it. Let's work on it. Let's build it. Because you don't know what's going to happen until you try. Okay? You're not going to know what happens until you try. And even if it doesn't work out, you tell the person, all right, fine, this didn't work out. But I appreciated you. I appreciated the opportunity. I'd appreciate it. But you can't have feelings and then all of a sudden throw something in front of it to stop it. Because once you open, it's like Pandora's box. Once you open it, it's hard to close. Okay? And that's why, like I said, I don't like hiding feelings. Okay? Because it's not right. If someone needs to, this is how I state this. I always say this. Ladies, you deserve to be told that you're loved every day by your spouse or significant other. You deserve to hear how special you are from them, besides your family and friends. You deserve to hear the words "I love you" at least once a day. Okay? I used to tell my ex that. I used to tell my ex how much I loved them. And still got treated like crap. I mean, even in one relationship, you tell them you love them, and you don't hear it back, but you hear, I left you. Okay. So they love you sexually. Okay. And they wind up cheating on me. because of something else. Did it hurt me? It took a little bit. But we're in 2024. Okay. And now it's gotten to the point where, you don't, you hear people saying they want they're still decent people out there. To be honest, there's not many decent people left. Because they all want to hide behind something because they're afraid to give it a try. I am not one of those people. So again, if someone came up to me, started chatting with me, started to get to know me, and decided to want to take it to the next step, you think I'm going to let them stop? The only way I'm going to let them stop is if there's something in there that I don't feel right about. But you could always make adjustments to that. And I did that with every relationship I had. I made every little adjustment I wanted to just to keep it going. And it still cheated on me. I wanted to get to know Anonymous more because that, like I said, that person had interesting things about them and that I could have probably learned from. But that was it. They turned around and walked out the door because they were afraid to try. And people say, "Oh, I led you into this, and I'm sorry." You didn't lead me into it. Yeah, you told me about yourself, and I wanted to know about it, but you didn't lead me. I led myself into it. Okay? You shouldn't feel sorry about sharing your life with someone that's interested in you for who you are and, what they see in you. But I'll never know. Because the one person I was really interested in walked away because of something they said to me that upset me and made me want to walk away. Okay? And to the guy, now if the guy was watching this podcast and not the Superheroine Chat with Joey C, I would go tell him to F off. Literally. Because talking about superheroines and superheroine porn would have been interesting. And I was willing to learn more about it. I was willing to go from there and make that podcast interesting. But because of something that happened, and even though I didn't, cause it directly, I took responsibility for it. And because of that is why I was stepping away from it. I mean, I can find something to walk away from a lot of things. Okay, when I wanted to go into inclusion at the end of last month, it was because I didn't see anything good for me. I really didn't. Do I still see something good for me? It's slowly coming. Okay, this podcast has taken a whole new turn, and it gave me a new direction with it. And if you saw the podcast with the CEO of the World Podcast Network, Bruce Chamoff, okay, you literally heard him say to you, the viewers and the listeners, okay, hey, this podcast is really great. I got intrigued. It was interesting. I didn't have a reason to turn it off because they were interested and that I attracted them. And I turned around and I joked. And I said, if it was attracting a lot of people, why don't I have like 5,000 viewers and 50,000 listeners and 50,000 subscribers? Because it's something I got to work on. All right. So what I'm saying to you, the viewers and listeners, is something I'm starting to learn myself. You got to stop hiding how you feel. Now, I've also mentioned in the past, and you heard it in the last podcast that I just did yesterday with Karen Deloche, words really hurt the way you say it. Unless it's a positive thing, words really hurt when you say them. And all I'm going to say to you folks is if you have feelings for someone, real deep feelings, and you really want to spend time with them and you really want to get to know them, try it. Yes, I'm not supposed to use the word try. Attempt it. Worst it can do is it doesn't work out and you can walk away. But before you walk away, at least let them know why you're walking away. And that's one thing Anonymous did. But the way it was stated made me feel even worse than even before when I was going to walk away. And deep down, I enjoyed Anonymous. Matter of fact, you heard me give questions from Anonymous on this podcast that were brought up. Some of them came from Anonymous because Anonymous had questions for the guests, and I loved sharing them. Just like if people had comments on this live stream right now, okay, I'd look at it, I'd review it, and give my opinion. This is everything I'm giving right now to you is my opinion. Okay? This is all my opinion. This isn't, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not, much of a celebrity, even though I should feel like I'm one. But what I'm trying to say, in my own personal opinion, is if you really are interested in someone, you really want to, you know that person's available, and you have feelings for them, tell them. Even if they don't want to go into a relationship with you, telling them is the best thing in the world. If you turned around and told them that you were interested in them and that you fell in love with them when you were little, you think they don't want to hear it? You boost their confidence when you do. You make them feel special when they do. When you tell somebody something good, something positive, something interesting that really interests them, you make their day. When you decide to put them up on a pedestal and almost worship the ground they walk on because you really feel for them, they should feel like they're on cloud 9. So that's what I'm saying to you. If you feel for someone, or like I said, if someone came to me and told me they had a crush on me years ago, but was afraid to tell me, I don't know why you were afraid to tell me. Telling me now is great because I love hearing it. And if that person turned around and said, listen, let's try to build a relationship. Hey, I'm up for it. But don't say you're going to want to do it and then throw things in front of it to try to close the door. The only way you close the door is if you realize that it wasn't what you wanted, but at least told the person that. Okay? I always said, and I quote, if someone I'm with found someone better, I'd rather that they tell me that they did so I can step back and say, you know what? If that's what you want, then go be it. I thank you for the opportunity and I wish you luck. One, you're not directly hurting the person because you're telling them. The only way you would hurt the person is if you turned around, and I'm going to be quick because I'm almost out of time, is you turn around, you're in a relationship with somebody, and you turn around, you find somebody better, and you just go explore it without thinking about the other person that you're with. And then all of a sudden they dump you. Don't explain anything. They just say, you're out. Now, if the person said, oh, they decided to dump me is because they found somebody better, okay, thank you for telling me. Yeah, I might get a little hurt for it, but I'd rather the honesty about it than not at all. And that's what most of the relationships did. I had to find it from other people. And that's even harder. Because, like I said, if someone was interested in me, built a relationship with me, and then found somebody better and told me, like I said, okay. Now, with my ex-wife, yes, she did discuss about separation, but at that point, though, the damage was already done to me behind my back. You know? The damage was already done to me behind my back. So, am I tired of getting hurt? Of course. Who isn't? But if you really tell me why, then fine. If you have feelings for me, tell me. Don't hide behind a barrier. If you opened up Pandora's box and you're saying all these great things to me and you got me interested in you, and all of a sudden now you feel that I have high expectations and you're going to throw something at me like to try to close Pandora's box, think again. Because when you open Pandora's box, okay, you better go with it. Because the only way you're going to know if it doesn't work is if you don't attempt it. That's it. So, on that point, I thank you very much for watching the Life with Joey Cavo podcast. Thank you very much for listening and watching it on live on YouTube. I'm thinking about the Superheroine Chat with Joey C. I deep down I do want to do it, but it wasn't just because of Anonymous. Because I wanted to expand, because I was feeling good with this one. Okay. God bless you all. Take care.